Hi everyone, welcome to the episode 6 of Presidee Podcast. Our third guest is Mrs. Preeti Suri, founder and owner of Dastakari Collections by Preeti Suri, an elite home decor and lifestyle store with an alluring assortment of handmade, ethnic, vintage, and urban products to jazz up your home. Watch this inspiring story of a mom of two who left her high paying corporate job to realize her dreams. So, hi Preeti, just tell us about yourself and what exactly does Dastakari Collections offer?
So, I'm born and brought up in Delhi. I'm an economics honors graduate from Delhi University. I've been married. I have two adorable children. And I have a long stint in the corporate world for about 22 years. Dastakari Collections is a long-term dream that finally started taking shape in the beginning of 2016. This is when I had left my job. It's a finely curated store of beautiful handmade items which are carefully handpicked, selected by us. Be it our stoneware ceramics, our contemporary jute and chandi rugs, our beautiful, patchwork bedspreads, or if it's our quirky lamps, leather items like trays, wash boxes, etc. All the vintage items that we have like cameras, old radios, etc. And an array of, small knick-knack items here and there, which finds space for any nook and corner in the house.
That's wonderful, and we can see that she has a beautiful studio over here. Alright, Preeti, so this one is a very obvious question. But what made you quit your high-paying job?
See, after working for about 22 years, I reached a point where nothing seemed anything more exciting. It was becoming very monotonous. I wasn't gaining any more experience doing what I was doing. And I also felt I wasn't learning or actually also contributing much. So one day I just threw in the towel without thinking much about, what is going to happen next.
Alright. So, how did you deal with the fact that from now on you will not be getting a fixed bank transfer at the end of every month?
See, I knew it's going to be difficult because you get used to a certain lifestyle basis the salary that you get at the end of every month. I knew I will have to kind of, maintain a balance between my necessities versus my pleasure. However, it wasn't ever difficult for me because my priorities in life had always been very right. It was always first to, run my house. Next was my kids' education, and health insurances always took precedence over expensive meals and shopping outside.
That's great. That's a very, very wise decision, I must say. So you took, in one of our earlier discussions, you mentioned that you took around 1.5 years to finally decide about your calling. What happened during this time, and which incident in particular helped you take this decision?
See, I quit my job in about 2014, and I actually wanted to spend a lot of time with my kids, and I wanted to do things that I wanted to do for myself, like reading book, catching up with friends over a cup of coffee, things like that. And it all seemed very nice for about a year and a half. I was able to do things that I was wanting to do. But slowly and gradually, I started realizing that I wasn't being as productive as I used to be earlier in life. And honestly, so many coffee catch-ups really didn't happen because everybody else was working, right? So they were all busy. During this time, my husband, who's been, a big factor in my life for all my successes, had been telling me constantly to do something, not to waste my education, because all I was doing was mundane chores in the household, taking care of domestic health and stuff like that. It's because, he kept pushing me constantly, and also at one point I realized that I owed it to my father who had given me such a fine education, and to my husband who had always pushed me to, excel beyond my limits in life, that I thought I should start chasing my dream, which was to do something in the creative field. And that's how this started.
That's great. So what do you suggest to other people out there, who are trapped in their jobs, but they wish to break and come out of the shackles of, we can say, monotony, and they're unable to due to their some vested fears.
Right.
So what suggestions do you have for them?
See, I know it's always going to be initially scary, not getting a fixed salary in your bank every month, because your salary kind of, creates or is a big element for the kind of lifestyle you create around yourself. But then life is, short. It's always good to be happy doing what you enjoy doing, rather than doing it for somebody else. Yes, the money coming in is going to be little, but there is a long sense of satisfaction in, doing something that you love to do day in and day out. And that also gives you some kind of a power of, being your own owner of your own things and stuff like that. So, it all works out in the end. It just does.
That's very nice. So, you have also mentioned to me once that you have traveled to many different places in the search of some, let's say, finest craftsmen for your products here in your studio. So, what did you learn during these journeys?
See, when I started traveling, Asa, I realized there is so much of beauty in the creativity that we have in our country. There is just no dearth of it. The beautiful products that I came across and the story behind each of these products, a long, process that it takes in creating a handmade item is really exhausting, but it's really enriching and it's a fantastic experience. Also, by the virtue of the fact that each item is handmade, it differs from the previous one, and that's where the beauty of the product lies. So it's been a nice journey. It's been a beautiful experience, watching all these processes happen.
It really sounds very exciting to me also as I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Okay. So, being a woman entrepreneur, did you ever feel that you had to face any additional challenges while you were dealing with these craftsmen or these vendors who were from outside the city?
Not really. On the contrary, all the business partners that we have, that's how I would like to call them, have been extra supportive, realizing that I do not belong to this field. It's a initial startup. They have been very supportive in terms of, explaining us the processes of, how things are made, what goes in, what kind of resources are required and things like that, how the entire manufacturing cycle happens for some of these products. They've been very nice and kind about this and very, very patient in terms of, certain times in terms of my demands and things like that. So, I would say that I have been lucky to have been able to, find such business partners and work with them.
That's great. Preeti, so, let's just talk about the initial phase. How did you manage with your finances during the early stages, and did you have to rely on your savings altogether?
Yes. So, initially that's what we had, savings from, from whatever I had been working for so many years, and my husband's savings. That's what we relied on.
Okay. So, did you ever face any issues about it, or you thought that this was correct or incorrect? If you could just throw some more light on it.
Yeah, so because it's the first time we were doing something on our own, there were obviously, hiccups on certain aspects and stuff like that. There were times that we thought that, we didn't have the money. But somehow I feel that, God's been kind and we just didn't want to say no to anything that we wanted to pursue. So we just went ahead and managed our finances one way or the other. That's what we did.
Alright, so from your experience now that you have done so much and you are so successful also, so what do you think someone could do differently if they are in a, let's say, similar situation as you are? So any pointers or tips for the people who are watching?
See, save as much as you can is what I would say while you're working, because it's a big help. At the same time, I'm not saying be a miser, but just be judicious of what you're spending on, because this is the money that will come in use when you want to do your startups. Relying on a family member or a friend for a loan and all that should be actually a last resort that you should go by. The other is that, just plan your expenses for at least 2 years well in advance, how you're going to run your family, how you're going to do your kids' education, things like that, because it takes at least about 2.5 years for any new business to kind of set in and for you to start generating your, regular income.
So now let's talk about your family, Preeti. What was your family's take about this new adventure and this new journey in your life? How did your kids and husband react to this?
Interesting. See, I come from a family which thrives on, picking up challenges. We kind of just, if we want to do something, we just go ahead and start doing it without too much of planning and start creating a path on that way. My kids are people who have learned to accept each day of life with a big smile on their face. It can be rain or hay. They are very happy, with each day, and they kind of find something exciting every day to do. My husband, who is my biggest support in everything that I've done in life, who's, helped me push beyond my limits, has always helped me never to get my fears or, my apprehensions get larger than life. So, all these three people have really helped me push me into, picking up this dream and started making it a reality. And at the end of the day, when I start seeing this happening every day in front of my in front of my eyes, I see this dream coming true. There is a huge sense of gratification that I feel.
That's so nice. We have the force behind the inspiration today. We're behind Preeti, and we are lucky that Rajiv, who is supporting her so well, is also here with us today. So now, Preeti, let's go on and let's talk about you and how do you manage things. So, how do you balance your home and work both? I understand that you have to do a lot of traveling and you're always busy. How do you manage so many things?
Okay, I'll start with my mother-in-law. I've been blessed to have a mother-in-law who's been the biggest pillar of strength behind whatever I've been able to achieve so far. She's the backbone of our family. So while I travel right now for my own venture, but even earlier when I was in my jobs, I used to travel a lot. She's been the one who's kind of managed the entire household, including my kids. And my kids, a big word of appreciation for them, because at a very young age, we started making them very independent, and they accepted it. They accepted the fact that both the parents are working and we're not always around them, and they have learned to do a lot of things on their own. So we really do not have to be around them to help them with their daily chores. So that's what has kind of helped us. Every day, we make a conscious effort to have our dinners together, and dining table actually becomes the center focal point for all our conversations. And once in a while, that ice cream treat is a great, add-on to kind of add to the excitement.
So that's true. That's great. Thank you for watching the part 1 of our interview with Preeti. Wait until this Friday to watch the concluding part of our interaction. It is a privilege to listen to her talk about how she seeded this small business of hers, tended it with her hard work and perseverance despite of various challenges, both professional and financial, and how it has now grown into a beautiful studio in the posh market of Shahpur Jat area in Delhi. Please find all the details of this interview in the description and the podcast show notes. If you like it, please don't forget to hit the red subscribe button below, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends and family. For latest updates, please follow us on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook. Thank you.